Well, that didn't last long. So, the Texas Supreme Court has put a stay on Kate Cox's ability to get an abortion. Because, of course, they did. But let's just get right to the article and yeah. The Texas Supreme Court on Friday night put on hold a judge's ruling that approved an abortion for a pregnant woman whose fetus has a fatal diagnosis, throwing into limbo an unprecedented challenge to one of the most restrictive bans in the U.S. The order by the all-Republican court came more than 30 hours after Kate Cox, a 31-year-old mother of two from the Dallas area, received a temporary restraining order from a lower court judge that prevents Texas from enforcing the state's ban in her case. In a one-page order, the court said it was temporarily staying Thursday's ruling without regard to the merits. The case is still pending. While we still hope that the court ultimately rejects the state's request, and does so quickly, in this case we fear that justice delayed will be justice denied. Said Molly Duane, an attorney at the Center for Reproductive Rights, which is representing Cox. Cox's attorneys have said they will not share her abortion plans, citing concerns for her safety. In a filing with the Texas Supreme Court on Friday, her attorneys indicated she was still pregnant. And I don't blame them for worrying about this woman's safety. I mean, this state is hell-bent at destroying her life because obviously only skanks have abortions or something. Or just simply they hate women and want women to suffer regardless. I'm not sure what the reasoning here is. Cox was 20 weeks pregnant this week when she filed what is believed to be the first lawsuit of its kind since a landmark U.S. Supreme Court ruling last year that overturned Roe v. Wade. The order issued Thursday only applies to Cox and no other pregnant Texas women, which is a shame. Cox learned she was pregnant for a third time in August and was told weeks later that her baby was at high risk for a condition known as trisomy 18, which has a very high likelihood of miscarriage or stillbirth and low survival rates, according to her lawsuit. Furthermore, doctors have told Cox that if the baby's heartbeat were to stop, inducing labor would carry a risk of a uterine rupture because of her 2 prior cesarean sections, and that another C-section at full term would endanger her ability to carry another child. And from what I've heard, this is standard practice with C-sections. Anyway, you can have 2, the third is risky. So, Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, an overall despicable human being, argued that Cox does not meet the criteria for a medical exception to the state's abortion ban, and he urged the state's highest courts to act swiftly. Now, if this is not criteria for the medical exception, what the hell is? I mean, you're trying to mentally and physically destroy this woman. Mentally, because she has to deal with whatever happens to her pregnancy, whether it be a miscarriage, a stillbirth, or watching her baby slowly die for a week. Which, obviously, that is not healthy for anybody, but she's a mom of 2 kids. And now she has to put all her resources in this one child that is destined to die. I mean, this is just horrible mentally. She might end up not being able to have children in the future, which I don't care if you think, and I said this in a previous video, I don't care if you think that 2 children are enough. That is for her to decide how many children she wants to have. So, no, none of this. So, this man is a horrible excuse for a human being. All right. Well, at least he asked the court to act swiftly, so I guess deep down he understands that this is something that shouldn't be dragged, but for the wrong reason. It's not because she's on a schedule, because she's already 20 weeks pregnant. However, I don't think that's the reason he wants them to act swiftly. He's just an ass. Future criminal and civil proceedings cannot restore the life that is lost. If plaintiffs or their agents proceed to perform and procure an abortion in violation of Texas law, Paxton's office told the court, were you not paying even the slightest of attention? Trisomy 18 is incompatible with life. This child, even if they survive to actually being born, is dead within a week. How? I don't see why you're concerned about restoring a life lost. That life is gone. That life is already lost. I do not understand why you can't grasp that through your misogynistic brain. He also warned 3 hospitals in Houston that they could face legal consequences if they allowed Cox's physician to provide the abortion, despite the ruling from State District Judge Maya Guerra Gamble, who Paxton called an activist judge. Really, an activist judge? How dare a judge actually give a crap about human beings rather than just coldly tell them that they're sentenced to a lifetime of mental anguish because they're being forced to carry a pregnancy, which I'm hearing is physically difficult for her anyway. It's physically difficult knowing that she's going to give birth to, if not a dead fetus, if not dead baby, it will be dead soon. I mean, how dare she actually care about this person's well-being? Oh, you are such an ass. If you are married, I really, really hope your wife reconsiders being married to you. Or, just reconsiders having sex with you, because God forbid she'd want to have this douche nozzle's kid. I mean, come on. Of course, we all know that people like this are hypocrites. And if his wife or daughter or whomever got pregnant and had to have an abortion for whatever reason, he would be fine and dandy with that. On Friday, a pregnant Kentucky woman also filed a lawsuit demanding the right to an abortion. The plaintiff, identified as Jane Doe, is about 8 weeks pregnant and she wants to have an abortion in Kentucky but cannot legally do so because of the state's ban, the suit said. I cannot believe that we are back to living in a world where women have to beg a judge to be able to have an abortion. I mean, seriously, what the hell? I realize that people thought that the 50s were the good old days, but, it's all in the wrong ways. So, yeah, you're getting your good old days if you thought the 50s and 60s were the good old days. You're getting it. And women are suffering minorities are suffering, and I'm sure that there are plenty of people who are just so excited that they can prop themselves on a pedestal again. Unlike Cox's lawsuit, the Kentucky's challenge seeks class action status to include other Kentuckians who are or will become pregnant and want to have an abortion. Good. Because judges should not have to rule whether a woman should have an abortion. The fact is that it's a medical procedure, it's healthcare, and the only person outside of the woman who should have any say is the doctor. Now, if she's in, like, Kate Cox's situation, she obviously should discuss it with her husband. But given that they have 2 kids, and, he actually cares about her, he would probably go along with what her and her doctor are saying, because he actually cares about her, rather than caring about how many kids he can get a woman to pop out for him. Because, I do not understand how someone can look at this situation and say, oh, it doesn't follow the law. Okay, so wouldn't be the first time an attorney general said, this law is unconstitutional because we should not be putting women through all this anguish, mental and physical. So, but no, he's doubling down, which tells me he doesn't actually give a shit about women, which is why I said earlier that if he is married, that woman should run for the hills, because he has shown he doesn't just dislike women, he actively hates them. How can you look at a situation like this and say, oh, you're not following the law to the letter, and I don't care if this judge gave you an exception because, this judge actually cares about people and people's well-being. I don't, so I'm just gonna, make you suffer. Ugh, he's a horrible person. But anyway, that is the latest on that. So, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.